to come on today and do a favorites video, and it's fall, and fall is my favorite season, so I thought it'd be appropriate to come on and do a favorites video today. So let's get started. So I wanted to come on today and talk about all the things that I've been loving recently, and some of these are specifically fall related. I always love the fall smells. It's like when the end of summer is approaching, you start smelling those fall scents like cinnamon and nutmeg, and it's like I get so excited just from the smells, and like I want to just start burning my candles. So all of the fall smells. And along with that, I love the fall drinks. So you have pumpkin spice latte, of course, which I love. And another fall favorite of mine is the hot apple cider. I didn't even used to like hot apple cider until like maybe last year or so. So my husband, when we first got married, my husband got this hot apple cider. I think it was from Tim Hortons. And it was so sweet. I couldn't even drink it. I took a sip and I was like, no, thank you. So probably a few years passed by and I decided to try it again. And I believe I tried it at this place called Sweetwater. And I also tried it at, who else has it? Libd. So I think it was the one from Libd that got me because they add caramel to it. Oh my gosh, it is so delicious. And then Sweetwater, theirs is really good, but theirs is more tart. I do like my drinks sweet, but I don't like them too sweet. So the one from Sweetwater, it was sweet, but it was like a balance of sweet and tart. So right now, those are my two top favorites, Sweetwater and Libd. I think I like Libd just a little more though. My next favorite is going to cider mills. So here in the Midwest, I guess, cider mills and apple orchards are really popular, and they have the best cider and donuts. Some of them do have hot cider, and I do like theirs as well, but it's the donuts from the cider mill that are amazing. They're like warm, and they have this like crispy, crunchy center that is like when you bite into it, you just want to melt and go to heaven. They are so good. There's three places that are my top favorite. There's one place in Ypsilanti, Michigan called Weird's. I don't know how you pronounce it. Weird's? I'm not sure. Theirs is, it's like crispy all around. And they're like greasy. They're the best thing ever. And they are. I love them. So yeah, unfortunately they only open, or fortunately, they're only open from like around Labor Day to around Thanksgiving. Some of them are actually open all year though, or most of the year. But yeah, the ones that are my favorite, they're only open between Labor Day and around Thanksgiving. I do indulge while they are open, and I don't regret it at all. My next favorite is caramel apples. Another amazing treat. I've always loved caramel apples. I get so excited when I walk into the grocery store in the fall when they first start selling the caramel apples. It's like I feel like a kid in a candy store, and I always have to get them. But my favorite place to get them, which I can't get them anymore because it was a place in Cincinnati called Snyder's Candy Store or something like that. But they sell the caramel apples in the fall. These caramel apples are to die for. They also have they're called turtle apples, where it's like the apple dipped in chocolate, dipped in caramel, dipped in nuts. So the place, the candy store was actually across the river from where I lived, but I would go over there probably once a week and get at least 3 apples at a time. Sometimes I got maybe 6 or 7 at a time, and they would last me for the week. I mean, they were just the best thing ever. I missed them so much. But I did find a place here in the Detroit area that's called Kilwins, and they're a chocolate and candy store as well. And they have one that's not too far from us, and they have a really good caramel apple as well. I tried their turtle apples because they do have some with chocolate and maybe some with fudge as well, dipped in caramel and nuts. But it's something about the quality and the richness of the chocolate and the caramel from the one down in Cincinnati. It's actually in Bellevue, Kentucky, but it's amazing. They are amazing. Sometimes I even want to go down there to visit in the fall just so I can get a caramel apple. But another one of my favorites is fresh linen. Yeah, I love fresh linen. I'm actually going to change our linen today because it's Thanksgiving actually, and I'm doing this video. So I have all the feels and I just want to put some clean, fresh linen on our bed and get in bed and watch all of my Christmas movies. Yes. That's what I'm planning to do today. I'm going to change my linen. It's not even, I love the fresh linen smell too with a fabric softener, but I just really love the crispiness of fresh linen. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I'm going to do that today. Another one of my recent favorites is stretching. So I've done yoga for years, like off and on. I've also done Pilates, but sometimes those moves can just be so hard to do. And sometimes I just want to stay in that stretched position, if you know what I mean. And one day I was doing my yoga and I was just like, I just want to stay in this position a little longer and just take it in. It's almost like meditative. Well, it is meditative, but it's like just doing those stretch moves. It limbers me up. It just makes me feel so good. Like I don't feel those, as I get older, you feel those aches and pains and you feel older, but stretching really helps your body to just really, to not feel those aches and pains as much. Sometimes when I'm on my feet for a long time, my back will start hurting. And since I've been stretching, I've actually noticed that my back doesn't hurt as much. And just being in those stretched moves just feels so good. And I try and do it in the morning before I get started in my day and the house is empty. So like I said, it's like meditative. And I typically do it between 10 and 30 minutes. I'll typically watch a video. I have two main people that I watch. So it's had so many benefits and I love it. Another one of my favorites is my boaster. So this one lady that I watch, her name is Sarah Beth Yoga. Well, her name is Sarah Beth, and I think her channel is Sarah Beth Yoga. Some of her videos, she uses something that she calls a boaster. So the first time that she started talking about it, I just grabbed my big pillow because I have a big king size massive pillow on my bed. So I used that. She says you can use like a couch cushion as well, but I grabbed my pillow from the bed and that was nice, but I realized that I had something even better. So I actually have something more like a boaster. So it's basically a big pillow and I don't know how to describe it, but I'll show you what I have. So here's my pillow cushion that I made. So you can see the shape of it. Hers is probably this thick, but it's probably this wide, if that makes sense. So I started using my boaster for some of the positions that she does. And that has been working out amazingly with my stretching. So I didn't even need to go and buy anything new. I actually made this cushion for our bedroom so we can sit on the floor in front of our bed. So now I have another purpose for using my pillow cushion. Another thing that I have been loving are my e-cloths. And I spoke about this in my last favorites video several months ago, and it's still high on my list of favorites. So if you haven't heard of e-cloths, I guess they would be considered like microfiber cloths. That's how they look, but you don't need any cleaning supplies to use them. You just wet them and wipe whatever you're cleaning down. You do need a little bit of elbow grease. sometimes for those stubborn spots, but I still love them. They have several types. I have the general purpose ones. I have the shine and buff ones. I have the mop. I also have the stove and stainless steel one. And then I recently got the cast iron like scrub pads and I've been loving all of them. This video is not sponsored, by the way, but I love eCloth. Like I said, I just wanted to mention them again in this one because they are still one of my favorites. So the next thing I wanted to talk about are movies and TV series that are on my favorites list. My first one, and these are not in really any order, but my first one is Manifest. It's a series that I got into, I think, last year. They're actually on their fourth and sadly final season now. This last season is actually broken out into 2 parts, and I watched the first part. I think the second part is coming out next year. I can't wait for it, but I'm also sad because it's going away. It's so disappointing. I mean, it's like when I first saw the series, like I saw it was popular. It was on like the recommended list or the top movies on Netflix. I think when I read the description, I wasn't excited about it. It didn't really sound like it was going to be my jam. But for whatever reason, I decided to watch it. I don't know why, but I decided to watch it and I have been hooked since. Just to give a little bit of background about it, so basically it's about a plane that disappeared for 5 years and the people came back. They hadn't aged at all. They were basically presumed dead. And so when they came back, they were in the Bahamas and everybody was just like shook. So apparently this disappearance made them have special powers, and they start hearing sounds or they have premonitions about things that are going to happen. And it's just kind of like everybody is just kind of in an uproar, like how to deal with these people. Like, are they bad or are they good? So it's very interesting. It's a lot to uncover and unpack. So I can't do that here, of course, but I've actually thought about doing like a series on my page to talk about Manifest. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not, but anyways, I love it. Love it. Another one of my shows is Amazing Race. I've been watching Amazing Race for years. How many seasons is it now? I'm not sure how many seasons it is. Yeah. I just love it. I get so giddy when it comes on. I mean, my adrenaline is pumping the whole time. Another one of my favorite series is The Crown. I'm currently watching that. I watched the last episode of the new season last night, I think. When I typically watch like a new season, I don't look and see how many episodes are in that season. While I do binge watch it, I still try and take my time while I'm watching it, because I want it to last longer, basically. But of course, I can't stop watching it. So usually when I'm watching a show, that last episode that comes on, like if it's on Netflix, when you see like the end is there, you don't see the little bar where the next show is coming. It's like such a letdown. It's the biggest letdown. That was me last night. I was just like, this can't be it. So yeah, so then you have to just wait until the next season and find another show while you wait. Another one of my favorites is Bridgerton. That's a newer show. I don't know, is it 2 years old? I love that show. I love all the outfits. I love the storyline. I love the actors. I love the romance. It's like everything. Like a lot of these shows, it's like everything. It's like comedy, romance, drama, suspense, just overall good acting, good actors. It's just everything. Another one of my favorites is Reacher. I really wasn't into this one at first. This was one of those shows that my husband was watching. Sometimes he watches the shows downstairs in the living room because he knows I want no part of them. But for whatever reason, he was watching Reacher one day in our bedroom, and I was in the bed playing my game of Sudoku, which is also another one of my favorites that I didn't have on the list. I play it almost every night. Is it Sudoku or Sudoku? I always get the name messed up, but yeah, that's a bonus. Yeah, so he was watching Reacher, and I mean, of course I was listening to it because he was watching it. Reacher, for some reason, it was the excitement, it was the drama, the suspense, the comedy, the romance. It was all of that. So I kind of got into that one by accident, if you want to call it that. It's about a guy that is basically a drifter, I guess. And he's like trying to find out who killed his brother. So that's kind of like the premise of the show. Yeah. But it's interesting. It's good. Another one that is definitely by accident is Alone. I think this was another one that Tim was watching in the bedroom, and I was not into it. I was just like, could you please turn this off? And somehow I fell in love with it too. I think it was on maybe season 7 that he was watching then. I started watching it with him, and we would be talking about it while we were watching it. So yeah, I just kept watching it, and I think he just kind of fell off, or he would like fall asleep or whatever. But that one is so intense, especially in the beginning. Like the first few episodes of each season is the most intense, because it's basically about a group of people that get dropped off in some remote location individually. They don't get dropped off in the same place to like be together. They get dropped off in different areas that are like several miles apart. So they're still like out there alone, but not alone because they're with wild animals. This show freaks me out so bad, especially in those first few episodes. And I'm like usually sitting in bed, and I'm so tense the whole time, because you don't know if they're going to get attacked by an animal, which I think has happened. It wasn't on camera though, but it's like you can feel the fear in those people. And it's just like, why? Maybe that's what fascinates me, is the why are you doing this? But it's so good to watch. I mean, it's fascinating too, because these people do have like skills to live off the grid and live in the wild. Yeah, they have a love for it and excitement for it. And maybe because it's something I would never do, that fascinates me about it. I mean, we all deal with fear, but just to see that fear, like people actually putting themselves in positions where it's like you're seriously all alone. Like, I'm an introvert. I love my me time. I love my alone time. I love when I don't hear anybody around me. I love that. But do I want to go and live outside and have to build my house and kill my food? No. No. I love that show though. Another one of my recent favorites, oh my gosh, I love this show so much, is Junior Bake Off. I just started watching this maybe back in the summer. I don't know what season it is. It's about these kids that are in a baking competition, and they're in England. And they are just so cute. I mean, their accents, along with they have so much character, and they're so funny and so cute to watch. I love that show. And sometimes it's heartbreaking. I mean, those kids, like, they put their heart in it, and they're fragile, but still they push through. And I just adore that show. It is so cute. And another one of my favorite movies or series is The Anatomy of a Scandal. So the actress that's in it, the main actress, is the actress that played Anna in Downton Abbey. And Downton Abbey is another one of my favorites too. I won't get into that one, but that is definitely one of my favorites. But Anna, who plays in Downton Abbey, is on The Anatomy of a Scandal. And at first, I wasn't going to watch it. I don't know what it was what I was thinking it wouldn't be my jam, but I decided to watch it and I loved it. It's really good. It's basically about a lady who, well, I don't want to spoil it. It's basically about a lawyer who is trying to solve a case of a woman that claims she was raped, and the guy is married with kids. That's essentially what it's about. It's really good. It's very interesting. I don't know if they're going to come back with if they set it up to come back with another season. And lastly, let's talk about some sewing patterns that I've been loving lately. So number one is the Lodo pattern by True Bias. And I'm actually wearing a Lodo dress now. I made this probably the beginning of fall or end of summer. And I made maybe 9 like back to back to back. So yes, clearly I love it. And this is in a gold Ponte knit. I got this fabric from a place called Fields Fabric up in Portage, Michigan. It's a very easy pattern. It's a great scrap buster pattern and it's just simple to wear. You can layer it. I love them. In my opinion, they're kind of like a t-shirt dress pattern. You know, t-shirts are comfortable. To have it in a dress form, yes, sign me up. So yeah, I love this pattern. Another one of my favorite patterns is the Simplicity 8014 pattern. That's been my favorite pattern for a few years. I don't even know how many of this pattern I made because I also use it to make my shackets. And I made 3 shackets so far. It's basically a shirt dress pattern. I love shirt dresses and I have quite a few. I typically go for a size 14 at the top, 18 in the hips, but I went up a few sizes to make my shackets. But that's still one of my staple patterns that I have made straight and I've also hacked several times. And lastly is my poncho pattern. I have this Simplicity poncho pattern that I actually got from my mother-in-law stash, and it's really simple. It has a hood and a pocket. That's also another kind of like scrap buster pattern as well. I think it takes about a couple yards to make, so it's pretty easy. So, and I love it for the fall. It's really a nice pattern to make something like really warm and cozy. And I think that's it. Hopefully that wasn't too long. So thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye. Do yourself a favor and try them. Yeah, I wish they ship.